Good evening and welcome to OG Dweeb. I've had a few cores, I'll be honest. But I wanted to talk to you today about cultural appropriation. When I was 12 years old, my friend whose grandparents were born in Hiroshima and lived through the bombing of Hiroshima, my friend took me to the Children's Day Festival at a Japanese restaurant that was in the area at the time. Her parents drove us there. And it was one of the most wonderful times I've ever had in my entire life. The salarymen were singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow drunk. I had great food. I learned traditional dances. And I got to see beautiful yukata, which is like a lighter summertime version of a kimono. And she also taught me to speak Japanese a little bit, skoshi. I only know very limited conversational Japanese. I knew more back in the day, but I forgot a lot of it because I don't have anybody to speak with now that she moved back. And it's kind of funny because back in '93 when she moved back, I promised I would come to see her. And it's like, okay, we're getting older now. We're in our 40s. I'm kind of limited on time to go see her. And she's living in Osaka currently. And I would love to have some okonomiyaki, some takoyaki. There's a Japanese restaurant in town here, but it's manned by Chinese people. And nothing against Chinese people, but, it's the same as having Northerners cook food at Cracker Barrel for me. So, but what I'm saying to you is, the only way to get over real racism is to share your culture with other people. Like, even amongst white Americans, there's a plethora of cultural differences. My family's from the South, so I'm confidently saying that people who have lived in Michigan all of their lives do not know how to cook traditional pinto beans. They don't know how to make traditional southern green beans. They don't know how to make traditional chicken and dumplings. They don't know how to make traditional rice and raisins like my grandma does. Cultural appropriation. If anybody is sincerely willing to learn about your background or your culture, you shouldn't shut them out. That's a willingness to try to understand you as a person. It's not being disrespectful. It's trying to learn and respectfully trying to understand you. I don't understand any of this stuff. Like, I don't know. I guess growing up in Metro Detroit and being exposed to several different cultures, it's something I can't understand. Like, everybody was cool, Like, I've been to barbecues where I was one of like 3 white people in the whole place. I was at the Children's Festival. I was one of maybe 3 or 5 white people in the whole place. I dated someone from the Middle East when I was younger. I don't understand it. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. People are people to me. It's like, I don't care what you look like. If you're cool and you've got something to share with me, I'm going to share with you back. That's just how I see it. I like everybody. Like, I don't know. And like I said, I've had a few beers, and so I may ramble, but why do you dislike somebody just based on their skin color? Or why do you think you relate to somebody just based on their skin color? Everybody has a different human experience. Everybody has a different experience. It doesn't matter what your gender, your race, your sexual identity is, your religion, whatever. Everybody's life has been different, and everybody comes from a different place. Everybody is an individual. And maybe I'll put my tinfoil hat on, but to me, stereotypes and attempting to erase individuality only leads to one place, and that's socialism. And socialism has failed everywhere it's ever been tried. Yes, everybody deserves an equal starting point. I'll agree with that. An equal starting point doesn't necessarily mean an equal ending point. I want everybody to live well. Don't get me wrong. The more people that live well, that means the more that I live well. The better the economy is doing as a whole, the better it is for us all. I don't want anybody to have misery in their life. I want everybody to be happy. But where is the give point? You know, I don't understand. I really don't. I try to, but I just can't. Like, the blind hatred, the stereotyping, the generalizations. Where does that get you? Does that make you happy? Does that make your life more fulfilling? Maybe you need to think about those things. Because you're obviously more... You're in a darker place than I am, because I have friends of all kinds. And I'm very happy, and I live a fulfilling life. Maybe you should try it. Maybe you should try to get to know people before you stereotype them. That's all I gotta say. Hope you guys have a good night.